Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Machedo is the best.
Hi there, Machedo. Sweeney from LoyMachedo.com. Who is Machedo and Think Personal Branding? All right. Starting off with housekeeping announcements. Timestamps are put down below in the description, so check that out. And also the news links. Like, subscribe if you want to. Do comment, because that is one way I can definitely read your views and listen to what you have to say, good, bad, ugly, whatever. And my contact details are also mentioned down below. So, you keep asking me the same question. Today's session, what it's going to include is, I'll tell you, YouTube links, recommended YouTube links, international news that impacts especially the Middle East. The coronavirus, I'll give you my summary on rumors, realities, and just analysis. Then UAE and the business market, UAE job cuts and new job opportunities, expat news, stuff that you would not want to, they would not publish in the newspaper, miscellaneous news here and there, funny bits, and finally, just in a nutshell, I'll encapsulate with whatever I have. So let's begin. The first one is just to give you an update, since some of you are interested in this. It has been, I think, 20 days since I put the last video. From that time until now, I completed 39 resume rebrands sessions. I had 3 more today, but obviously I wanted to make the video. Then 11 interview trainings for people who are looking into different job opportunities. 19 job confirmations, which is pretty good. 3 of them did get their jobs, but after I discussed with them in terms of their contracts, I recommended them not to take the job offer, so that they, with a heavy heart, they went back. They'll be coming with the next visit visa, and I'll be guiding them what to do. To my surprise, there's been an increase of people coming from Oman looking for jobs in Dubai. I'll tell you more about it. And there's been an increase of people from Australia, New Zealand, UK, and the regulars from India. Pakistan, I think, reduced a little bit. Sri Lanka, almost nobody got in touch with me. And obviously, I don't have anyone from Bangladesh. So these were the bits and pieces. All right, so let's move on to the recommended YouTube links first. This one is was sent to me. All these links were sent to me by Expats. The first one is a scammer in Australia that was exposed. Seems the guy is an Indian, and he was taking money for predicting people's future, healing them, and doing all this hocus pocus, which is nothing but fraud. I would, caution anybody who would try to do something like this in the West, because there are stringent rules and you can get deported. So don't do it in a country where you're seeking residence, especially as an immigrant. Then Scandal Guru, starting a new country. This guy is an Indian so-called godman, just like all the, Sadhguru. Sadhguru is started to slowly, I've started to lose respect for the guy. I mean, he came out with this new claim that a woman's breast gives different milk. A different breast will give you a different kind of milk. I don't know, since when did Godman become a gynecologist? I would say that just focus on philosophy and focus on preaching goodness. Stop making a fool of yourself, And this guru, this guy, I mean, if you look at him from a sense of entertainment, you'd find him very entertaining. He talks a lot of bullshit, serious bullshit. I don't know what's the story with this guy, but he's entertaining for cartoonish pleasure, if you like it. Seems he has created this new country, just waiting for him to get arrested in India and sent back. This was sent to me by an Arab. He says UAE and its American mercenaries to be investigated for war crimes in Yemen. So watch that. You have UAE once again, not in a very positive light. It has been Manchester City. I don't know, is Manchester City the same as Manchester United? I don't watch football, so I wouldn't know. So UAE owned Manchester City to be banned from Champions League because they played around with the, with the financials, which you should not be doing. So Etihad is also getting a bad light and bad press because of this. You have a Dubai-bound passenger caught with the currency hidden in peanuts. Very creative. I wonder how much of effort and time they must have taken to fold these currencies and put them in peanuts. You cannot get away with the trying funny stuff in UAE because they have some of the world's best scanning devices. Okay, so don't try anything funny. If you're going there, go clean, do your thing, get out clean. That's what I would say, or anywhere in the world for that matter. Then this was really nice. It's taken from Animal Antics News Flare. Owners reunited with their pets. So those of you who like animals, you'd get slightly, you'd feel warm and fuzzy. Then Colin Farrell goes up and beats up a guy in this short video clip. I do not know which movie this was taken from, but if you watch this video, there's this boy, Colin Farrell comes to this boy and asks him, who took your shoes? He doesn't tell him, then finally admits who took his shoes. His father doesn't seem to be bothered, and then Colin Farrell goes up to the bully's father, beats him up in front of the boy. Good one. I think this is how bullies should be treated. Then another one. This one touches your heart. Judge Frank Capiro from Caught in Providence. I really like his videos because the guy has a lot of wisdom. He is very empathetic and he's very mature. I mean, the decisions that he takes clearly shows his heart is in the right place. In this video, you'd see a 94-year-old father, an old man. He has a 63-year-old son and he has cancer. And his father, being 94, drives his son to the hospital back and forth. Really touching. You'd almost get tears in your eyes when you see this video. Next one is EA Sports inside the relentless training of professional gaming stars. The gaming industry is becoming an industry of youngsters, but there's a lot of pressure. Worth watching, this one. The next one is Kenyans being conned with promises of lucrative jobs in Dubai. So UAE seems to be getting a lot of negative press for especially people who are being cheated or promised a good job, but sent off to something else. Then UAE is also accused of forcing Sudanese to fight the war. Some of them, it seems, they joined as security guards, but they are actually taken in as mercenaries to fight in war, where they can almost die. Dwayne Johnson's father died, and this was a touching tribute. I thought he really spoke from the heart. I highly recommend that you listen to it. A very powerful eulogy. Then you have UAE, which comes in a same attention-grabbing stunts, as I call it. This robot conducts an orchestra. The robot will just keep moving. I don't know what's the merit in this, but anyway, at least they got a bit of free publicity. This one is really nice. I like this one. This is Kevin Bailey. Yeah, Kevin Bailey. He's a creative director and senior VFX supervisor for Method Studios. He talks of this year's Oscar nominees for Best Visual Effects. Really something to watch. You'd be blown away as to the amount of creativity these different movies have put. I think it was 1917 that actually won the Best VFX awards. There's Avengers Endgame, Lion King, The Irishman, Star Wars. So really a good lineup. And you'd also want to see the movies because it's just mind-boggling. The amount of effort that they put. I had a soft corner for Star Wars, especially because Princess Leia was morphed using AI, artificial intelligence. It's kind of scary to see how how many steps further ahead we have, or rather, what is the advancement that we have done in terms of visual effects, that you can even create a dead person. I remember there was something on Facebook and all of the news of a mother who could actually see her daughter dead, who was dead, in a virtual reality kind of space. I don't know. I just find that very disturbing. Yes, it can heal broken wounds or broken hearts, but then are we going to have technology play all these games with our minds? And where do you draw the line? The next one is why Wall Street traders are on a decline. This clearly will take you through the reality of declining jobs and how artificial intelligence is replacing old jobs, if not new ones. Then America's Got Talent. Sometimes I do watch these clips on YouTube. This particular video is this girl, Kichi. She's an African. She was in a plane crash at the age of 16. All the passengers except 6 survived. 107, I think, they died, and she was one of the ones who survived. She was completely burnt. She had less than 30% chance to live, and she could not move because her body was completely burnt. So she survived that turmoil and depression by singing and training her voice to sing. If you listen to her sing, you would actually feel her pain. I would highly recommend that you watch this video. Then the evolution of dance. This one is fun. It's enjoyable. It brings back a lot of memories of the transition of different kinds of dance. Watch it. You'll enjoy it. This is disturbing. A guy eats 2.8 kilograms of meat. It clearly shows you how these guys train their body to keep swallowing stuff. In fact, it's not as much as what they eat that baffles me. I keep wondering when they have to go to the toilet and shit out 2.8 kilograms of meat. Good Lord. I don't know how they do it. Another one is Turkish Airlines pilot thanks his teachers. This is a very powerful video. Do watch it. The teacher who trained his students to become pilots, they give him a moving tribute when he retires, and he literally cries. You need to watch this to appreciate the powerful impact teachers have, good teachers, on students' lives. For those who keep watching rubbish videos of coronavirus, instead I recommend you watch this. How scientists think that coronavirus spread from bats to humans. Joe Rogan is one of the podcasts or videos that I watch. Seriously, Joe Rogan, I've been a fan of his, from UFC to his stand-up comedy to his podcast. He speaks about Daryl Davis in his podcast number 1419. This guy, you must listen to Daryl Davis. He speaks about the Ku Klux Klan. He speaks about how he was able to touch people's lives by just talking to them, by just getting into a conversation. Watch this video, one of the best ones, apart from the high-profile ones like the Elon Musk. This one you need to watch. It gives you a very mature perspective of how people of different opinions, even to the point of being, the Ku Klux Klan being extremely racist and derogatory towards Black Afro-Americans, how he was able to, look through all this and touch people's hearts. So I would say, listen to this one. For those who are maybe not Hindus, I would say The Bearded Butchers. I bumped into this by sheer accident. This is a YouTube video on how to skin a beef cow and remove its hide. What amazed me about this butcher is how skilled he is with his knife. He skins this cow with precision and the skill, the accuracy that I was like, I was just staring at the screen. Not recommended for those who have a very weak stomach. All right, the next one is WhatsApp iPhone tricks, tips, and hacks. For those of you who use WhatsApp, I think you'd like this video. Do check it out. Another one is 65-year-old Playboy model. Can be considered controversial, but the 65-year-old lady, she poses semi-naked or semi-nude for Playboy magazine. It's incredible that a woman in her 65s still maintains herself. She was a playmate for many years when she was young, and over the years she continued until she had to leave. But then she comes back at the age of 65 to do a naked shoot. So I thought, I was like, wow, at 65 you've still maintained yourself, especially being a woman. So for me, I would say it's pretty bold, it's pretty courageous. Not everyone can just take a photograph of themselves naked, but this woman does it. So what do you think? And last but not the least, for those of you who are James Bond fans, you'd love the new Land Rover Defenders advert, which came out very creative, very powerful. I loved it. I think the Super Bowl ads were some of them which I really was like amazed with this one, especially Jason Momoa, what is that? The guy, the superhero Aquaman. It was pretty funny to see him take off his muscles and become so skinny, especially his hair at the end. That was, I would say, one of the best ads. So these are the recommended YouTube ads. Check them out. Let me know what you think, and I'd love to hear from your side. All right, let's move on to a bit of international news, which I thought was worth talking about. Okay. The first one is Bitcoin. For those of you who are cryptocurrency enthusiasts, February 10th, 2020, Bitcoin is back at $10,000 a Bitcoin. When it started in 2013, it was trading at $13, 13.50 per Bitcoin. Now it is $10,000. Well, in 2017, it moved to $20,000 a Bitcoin. That is 1,400%. And, they pushed cryptocurrency in the mainstream, and people were saying that it's going to go up to 1 million a Bitcoin. I found it totally stupid, because what is Bitcoin being used for? Nothing but just speculation. People are just keeping it, buying it and keeping it because they're expecting, oh, it's going to climb even higher. It's going to get even more expensive. They're going to make even more money. Nobody was buying, purchasing any household items. There was no practical usage for this apart from just speculation and, hoarding. So, well, it happened. It fell 74%. Lots of people lost lots of money. Big time scammers came into the market. Many companies closed down. Many people lost their life savings. This is what happens when greed gets into the equation. So they are still hoping that Bitcoin is going to rally up once again to $20,000. I don't think it's going to happen, because this time people are going to be a bit more cautious. So let's see. What do you think? Bitcoin, is it up for grabs? Are you investing in it? What do you think is the future? Let me know. Next one is Donald Trump having dementia. Dementia? Yeah. 4th February 2020. Donald Trump, instead of calling United Arab Emirates, he called it United Arab Air Mattress. I would just say it's a slur, and give the guy a break. He's in his 70s. Anyway, speaking about UAE and US, you have Reuters that has stated 12th February 2020, Britain, the US, and Turkey on Wednesday were formally asked to arrest senior officials from UAE on suspicion of carrying out war crimes and torture in Yemen. UAE has hired mercenaries that were responsible for torture and war crimes against Yemeni civilians in 2015 and 2019. Now, my thoughts over here is UAE has employed citizens from which country? It's US. UAE has employed the technology from which country? Israel. UAE has employed what kind of employees? Retired CIA, FBI agents, intelligence service. So everyone knows about it. Then why be acting like, oh, they suddenly found out? Well, and see, the part that is surprising even more is United States itself is not united. They say United States of America. It's not united where simple policy matters come into play. One side is selling weapons, the other side is saying no, they should not sell weapons. So I just see this as nothing but gimmicks, and it's going to be a waste of time. Nothing is going to happen to UAE. US and UK will just make a little bit of noise, a little bit of money under the table will solve the problem, and the case will be closed down. Speaking about closing down stuff, you have India's news. Anil Ambani, once upon a time the sixth richest person in the world. He was the sixth richest person, billionaire with 9 zeros after whatever digit came. Anil Ambani has become Anil Amba, according to Bloomberg. He borrowed $925 million for the purpose of expansion from 3 banks, and now he doesn't have the money to pay them back. So the court has asked him to put aside $100 million to start settling off the disputes between the 3 banks. But he pleaded that he doesn't have money. Poor guy, poor guy. I mean, the poor man, I feel so sad for him. Just imagine you're a billionaire, but you want to be even more rich. Well, the bigger you are, the bigger risks you take, and that is why you get jacked. So let's move. What do you think? Before I do go further, what do you think? Do you think he's going to lose all his money? Is he going to be bankrupt? Is this another one of their tricks, or is this a legit, thing of concern? If it's going to impact rich people, it will impact many poor people as well, because poor people are the ones who are employed by these rich companies. Okay, let's go on to coronavirus. And first, I'll divide the coronavirus segment into global and focus on China, and then how it impacts the UAE. So I'll give you just a summary. I'll not go into detail on this. The first one is this fake news that has been circulating, which is a shocking video. The title was "Shocking Video Shows Crows Eating Dead Bodies Lying on the Streets of China." Now, even though at that time I didn't see the video, I knew for a fact it was fake. I'll tell you why. Number one is, even if crows were eating the flesh of dead people in China, China would not allow such a video to be circulated. And if it did, the person who circulated such a video would be shot dead or jailed for life. So nobody would take the risk of sharing such a video. That's number one. Number two, when you have a virus, when you have a pandemic, when you have a disease, and it's destroying the country, they would do everything possible to keep things clean, or let's say cremate the bodies, or at least destroy anything that is rotting or bad. Or so having such a theory that, oh, there are dead bodies rotting in the streets in a public place, and crows are eating, and nobody's doing anything other than people taking videos, I knew it immediately. This would be fake. So I just checked Daily Star and IBN Times, and I just saw crows flying. Just crows are flying. So crows are flying. So what is it supposed to mean? The problem is these news outlets, online news outlets, they want people to click so that they can get ad money, or they can get, they can show that so much of traffic has come to our website and get sponsors or get people to advertise on their websites. So I just find this a very sad, pathetic way of doing things, and you can't help it. This is the reality of how things go online. So please, anytime somebody gives you a shocking update, use a little bit of common sense. Okay. Then we have on 1st February 2020, China news, outbreak of bird flu. You had CNBC, you had Bloomberg, you had CCN.com, not CNN, CCN. Then you had Thai Medical News, then you have One News, you have Business Insider. So long story short, China has reported an outbreak of deadly flu, the avian influenza, a highly pathogenic strain of H5N1 bird flu in Hunan province. So out of 18,000 birds, 18,000 chickens, 4,500 were killed. Now, In case you are panicking, relax, because H5N1, which though can be transmitted to human beings, it's very rarely seen in human beings. And what do I think about this? I'm glad that all these problems and issues are coming out from China, because now China is going to up its game. It's going to tighten its belt. It's going to take things, especially where matters of health is concerned, very seriously. Not for anything else, but for the very simple fact it's destroying the country and destroying the economy. So money is very important to any country, if not human life. Okay, so it can destroy governments, it can destroy leadership. So they're going to take it very seriously, and I'm very glad that all these problems are coming out now, because they will change. Because they know if they don't change, we are just going to get eliminated. As it is now, almost everyone in the world is scared of anyone from China. They just want to keep away from China. And China has no other choice but to quarantine itself. So they're going to, I can tell you one thing for a fact. They are going to ensure that such a thing never happens again. They're going to take the strictest measures. They're going to ensure that the world's best rules, regulations with regards to health is administered. And, I just look at it as what you sow, you shall reap. If I stay, let's say, I don't clean my house, I stay with disease and germs, and I stay in a very unhygienic environment, obviously I'll be sick. And that's a price I have to pay. So China is paying the price for not paying attention to keeping its own standards of health high. And, you see so many of these videos, eating a bat, eating a live snake, eating a live frog, drinking blood, all these things. They keep sharing these videos, eating, the one that really angers me is where they kill dogs in the most horrific manner. They literally, put dogs alive in boiling hot water and kill them. And some of them really, you can't watch. So, well, many people are glad that these people are suffering. There's one side of me that, that really gets angry, and I wish these people on this video, specifically these people who are doing such horrific stuff, that they should suffer. But on the other hand, I think of all those children and all those people who are innocent, who have not done anything bad. I mean, it's like we are just putting all of them into one single category. So one side, I'm kind of like, yes, you deserve it for all the, you watch a guy take a frog, live frog, bite its head and rip its head off with the flesh and intestine and blood hanging, and he's laughing on camera. I don't think you'd feel very sorry for a guy like that. Or a cute little dog. The guy, he's taking a blowtorch and the dog is alive. He's kind of heating the skin, and the skin is melting off, and the dog is howling in pain and crying. You wouldn't feel sorry for such an individual. So people like this, I have no sympathy. But for the innocent, millions of other innocent people, like children, like people who have not done anything bad, watching them suffer, it's like, I look at my own wife, I look at my own little baby, and I think that I wouldn't want them to suffer. So it's drawn to two sides. So I would say that let's not treat all Chinese in the same way. Let's not be racist. Let's not hate them. But at the same time, let's hope, okay, even though I don't believe much in hope, let's hope that the Chinese government takes stricter rules towards how they treat animals, how they, and this glorification of literally eating a live rat, eating it, biting it, and it's alive and it's moving, or a squid or a fish, it's alive, it's breathing, and you're chewing the flesh of an animal and showing it on camera to show off. I'm sorry, but I don't feel sad for such individuals when they suffer. So these are my thoughts. You can let me know what you think. Okay. The impact of coronavirus is also felt globally. You have Hong Kong's reaction, which is destroying Hong Kong. I had a guy from Hong Kong who just spoke to me. He told me that it's really impacting the market. So the news is pretty real. Many supermarket shelves are empty. The airport is literally, nobody wants to be there. Nobody wants to come in. I remember I told you when these youngsters were making these protests and they're destroying property, and they were completely making sure Hong Kong got to a standstill. And I told you that they would regret this. Now look at the fact, look at the fun. Before, you had all the youth coming out on the streets and blocking traffic, blocking business, damaging property, and nothing was moving. And they were like, yes, we will die, but we'll ensure that, this doesn't happen or that doesn't happen. Now, who is making protests? Who is damaging property? Who is doing what? People are going to be without jobs. They're not going to have any money. When you don't have money, when you don't have funds, when when your means of surviving is impacted, you don't have time to do all this bullshit. Hong Kong, which was supposed to be the most stable country, which was like, oh wow, people used to take Hong Kong as an example of success. It's destroyed. It's completely destroyed. According to me, I would say at least 50% of the businesses are going to close down. Many people are going to suffer losses. And like I always tell you, the people who will be impacted the most will be the middle class. They are going to be destroyed. So it's to be seen how long does this coronavirus impact Hong Kong. Because, why do I say 50% of the, Hong Kong population? February 8th, 2020, you have all these news, outlets that have reported. Cathay Pacific has said 27,000 of its workforce, imagine 27,000, will be asked to take 3 weeks leave to a month without salary. And some of them will extend even further. There'll be many layoffs from March to June because of the crisis. Then Cathay Pacific has also cancelled 50% of its flights. They have cancelled around 783 flights per week and 835 per week in March. So they'll reduce 30% of global operations and cutting down of 90% of its mainland flights. That is to China. Hong Kong Airlines has cut 400 jobs and asked the remaining staff to take unpaid leave. Taiwan's China Airlines will just operate from, before it was 18 flights every day. Now it's just 2 flights until March, the end of March. EVA Air will switch from 11 flights a day to just 4 flights for the rest of the month. Then you have China Southern, China Eastern, Henai Airlines, and all of the airlines in China. They have asked pilots to go on unpaid leave. They have asked their staff to be on unpaid leave. And many of them are descaling their operations to less than 60%. So I can assure you that it's going to impact a lot of people in Hong Kong, Singapore, and it's going to have a domino effect across the globe. Then you have this worthwhile article, which I thought you must read. Why is China the epicenter for all these viruses? Why is China so susceptible to disease outbreaks? The answer is the way it handles its food supply. Now, before you start slamming China and saying that it is not clean or whatever, here are some stats for you to think about. 2019, China ranked 51st out of 195 countries in the Global Health Security Index. So the lower you are, the worse you are. So if China is 51st, well, you'll be surprised to know India ranks 57th, that is after China. Pakistan ranks 105. Bangladesh ranks 113. So before you point fingers at China, well, guess what? India, Pakistan, Bangladesh are even more worse. Okay. However, in terms of the diseases that have actually impacted the country, you have SARS, which emerged from an animal market in Guangzhou in 2002. China suffered African swine fever in 2018, and they killed around 40% of the pigs. China also has bird flu. For this, they had to kill 18,000 chickens. And now, once again, they are having this bird flu, which is coming in the H591, H591, whatever. H5N1, H5N1. They also have scandals with regards to milk powder, which was fake. They put some chemical, fake seaweed, fraudulent fake shrimp. So I think China, because of all the negative press that it's getting, they're going to seriously look into changing the way they're handling the food supply. Because if they don't, I think China is going to be ostracized as a cursed nation. So now let's move on to coronavirus's impact on UAE, okay, and the Middle East. The first one is CNBC that says that Middle East will start to feel the pain from coronavirus, where China and major airlines across the region have suspended anything got to do with China flights or anyone going to China or from China coming to visit the Middle East. Now, how does that impact? Well, first you had oil prices that took a hit. Now you have tourism that is taking a hit. And because tourism takes a hit, you'll have retail taking a hit because people will not be buying anything. And if people don't buy anything, the shops will have less business. Shops have less business. Then their staff will be laid off. Staff will be laid off. They will not buy anything. So it'll go like a domino effect. If they don't buy, supermarkets don't survive. Supermarkets don't survive. They will cut down on the number of people that they have, close down branches. So it's going to impact everyone. Now, the unfortunate thing is, in the Middle East, the only country that has the highest volume of China from China is UAE. So UAE has the highest. One of every 16 visitors to the UAE is from China, or it's 6% of its total tourism. And across the Middle East, 2.4 million Chinese visited the region last year. For example, when the SARS outbreak took place in 2003, even though it only affected 800 people globally, it cost the Middle East around 30 to 50 billion. Not Middle East, sorry, globally. It cost 30 to 50 billion dollars. So just because 800 people were affected. Now just ask yourself, in 2003, 800 people got affected, they lost 50 billion. This time, how much is this going to go and to what extent? I would say that get ready for a huge, massive recession this time. Okay. A little bit of news that was from, I think, UAE, where they had a false alarm on 7th of February 2020, where the Philippines minister said that a Filipino died of coronavirus, and this was causing a massive kind of fear factor in Philippines. So they said, sorry, it's just confusion, it's just anxiety. And, I think people without education, without using common sense, they're just putting these face masks on. You're not sick. Why the fuck are you putting a face mask on? And that also, you're not in China. If you're in China, putting face mask, I can understand. But you're in a desert. Why the fuck are you putting a face mask on? Okay. Now, I don't know how far this next news is true, but it seems that Etihad has offered to pay its flight attendants double to fly to China. 7th February 2020. It has cancelled all its flights to mainland China except Beijing. And it seems that none of the crew want to fly to China because it's a 15-hour layover every 3 days. So Etihad crew were offered double the pay. Now, before you jump the gun and say, wow, that's going to be a very big salary, well, they only pay you double when you travel. So it's around 44 dirhams per hour. So let's say 44 dirhams is roughly I would say $11. So for $11 per hour, would you travel to Etihad? Would you travel to China and stay there for a 15-hour layover? So I don't know if any one of you has traveled to China. Do let me know. But I am aware of the fact that there are many cabin crew members who are kept in quarantine after traveling to China. Many of these happenings in the Middle East, especially UAE, have not been put in the newspaper. I did get some hospital staff and some news reporters who did share with me and confirmed, yes, there are cabin crew members who are kept in quarantine, but it's nothing like it's something serious. It's like, oh my God, people are going to die. Relax the fuck out. It's just quarantine, just to make sure that nobody else gets sick. Okay. Now, in terms of the Middle East, especially UAE, the shopping malls are very quiet because people are scared. Okay. There is a claim that there are it's at least 60% of the footfall has reduced. Malls are very quiet. Streets are kind of empty. During the day off or holidays, people don't want to go out, especially where there are lots and lots of crowds. Now, the most panicky places, or the places which are totally empty, are Chinese-themed malls, like China Mall or Dragon Mart. Over there, even though the name is Chinese or China Mall or Dragon Mart, there are different nationalities there. So people just don't want to come there because of the name Chinese or the association with China. My logic here is, do you think nobody from China will go visit Dubai Mall or McDonald's or Starbucks? You can just have someone who's infected with the virus come there and you'd not know. Maybe he's an Indian, maybe it's a Pakistani, maybe it's an African. How do you know if they're not sick? So I just find it, it's just like, think of the fact, I stay in Thailand, which is closer to China. Now, over here, I have not worn a mask till now. I've taken my wife and my kids for shopping. We've just been normal. There are Chinese people here. So obviously, I don't go around hugging them and talk to them. But, I tell people, relax. Yes, there is a fear of getting the coronavirus, but much more than that, you can get an accident. You can get, a life-threatening disease. There are millions of people who die due to flu or influenza. Nobody seems to be worried about that. But 1,000 people die and you get all crazy. So anyway, there were a couple of people who do work as waitresses, who do work in shopping malls. So they did get in touch with me and told me that initially, at least in the first few days of the coronavirus, it was completely empty. Nobody came for days together, at least for a week. One of the outlets, obviously can't mention which one, it seems that for a week there was nobody there. Dubai Mall was completely deserted. Now it seems people are coming back, but it's still, the fear factor is still there. Okay, so this was one of the reports, and I think UAE is doing its level best to ensure that the fear is culled and taken care of. That is why they came up with this news where they showed this Arab guy sitting with a coronavirus patient who was recovered with a Chinese representative from China. And, he offered her a bouquet. You could see the video online. And she was wearing the mask. He was not wearing the mask, neither of them. So this was a good PR exercise to remove the fear. But even though, this has shown, I'm very sure that the fear still remains very strong. So what do you think? Do you think the fear of coronavirus is still there? Are you scared to go out? Are you actually going out? Or do you think the fear will still remain? But one thing is for sure, I can assure you this much, that it will affect the revenues, it will affect the tourism, it will affect the cash flow in the country. And right now, it's not looking very good for Expo 2020. It's really looking bad, very seriously. It's one of the worst things that could happen, and it's happening to UAE. So let me know your thoughts. These are the bits of coronavirus updates. And like I tell you, please, stop being paranoid. It's good to keep clean. It's good to be healthy. It's good to live in a safe, clean environment, but just stop being paranoid, and please do not, be racist towards individuals. Use a little bit of common sense when approaching any problem. So this is what I have to say. Let me know your thoughts, and let's move on to business news. All right, starting off with the UAE-based news. The first one is the positive aspect of UAE news. The first one is 6th February 2020. 2,500 government jobs have been announced in UAE. That is by the ruler of Sharjah, Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammed Al Qasimi, has directed the Sharjah Directorate of Human Resources to appoint 2,500 Emiratis for various departments. Now, if he's doing it because there is a need for, there is a need to employ people, fine. But if he's just employing people because they are unemployed, then it's stupidity. But anyway, then again, their money, they are the rulers, they might know what is best. I hope they have enough jobs to keep people busy, or they will just have people sitting in government chairs, warming their asses and taking home a salary. Next one is 17,000 new staff to start training for Abu Dhabi terminal. That is 9th February 2020. Based Gulf News, Abu Dhabi airports will partner with Etihad Aviation Group to start training 17,000 employees. Now, I'm not too sure if this is a legit news, because Etihad is headed towards bankruptcy. So why do you need 17,000 employees to shoot your overheads? Why not focus on making Etihad profitable, which anyway they can't. So it's going to shut down. So you employ 17,000 people for what? And I've not heard of anyone who has applied for a job there. So if you know someone, let me know if this is real news or it's fake news. Now, talking about fake news, you have news articles like this, like Arabian Business, this company Al-Sop claiming that despite the negative thought of the UAE market, especially Dubai, this company only has seen a 40% increase in revenue, buyer registration increased by 22%, and they have seen more than 4,000 families going into homes. People can claim anything they want. Who is there to verify this information? And you will see coming up next, giants, juggernauts like Damac, Emaar, Nakil, all of them reporting losses. So what's so great about this company that giants cannot make any money on they're bleeding, hemorrhaging losses, while this company claims to be making profit? What's so great about this company? I've never heard of this company. I feel sometimes most of these companies claim or make these claims just to get headlines. So if you hear any company that brags about or states that, oh, we have made money because of this new change or this rebrand or whatever bullshit, it's nonsense. Gulf News reports that 160,000 hotel rooms in UAE are ready because in the future, Expo is supposed to generate $44 billion or 161 billion dirhams. So in the future, it's a future which they've not seen. Nobody saw the coronavirus. Nobody saw the losses. Nobody saw Etihad going in a loss. Nobody saw Dubai taking 21 billion and failing to pay. Nobody saw the failures of all these cities and buildings and everything else. But they never see all that. They only see profit. So I find this stupid, especially with the fact that you have 160,000 hotel rooms. 160,000. So oversupply is there. Demand is going to happen. Now, if it doesn't happen, what do they do with these hotel rooms? Who's going to cover the expense? Who's going to pay for all the money that is pumped into all this? So, personally speaking, I just see this as nonsense. Anyway, the next one is UAE firm purchases 1 billion worth of homes. Sheikh Mansour-owned Emirates Strategic Investments Company has acquired 2 mixed-use properties worth 1 billion dirhams. So 1,352. Okay, spending money is easy. Let's see how do you get the return on investments? And bigger than that, are you actually going to make some money? Or do you assume you will make money in the future? So in the future, anyway, I wish you all the best. And I think last if not the least, this is the final of the so-called optimistic news. UAE banks are optimistic despite 333 billion property dump. Okay, dirhams 333 billion property exposure. Despite all the risks, despite the fact that UAE banks have lent 20% of their total into properties, they believe in the future, not now, in the future, it'll be profitable. With the way the banking industry is going, with the way banks are terminating staff, merging to survive, and hemorrhaging cash, I think this is just, I don't know. It baffles me. It still baffles me that either they assume people are stupid, or they think that they are so smart that they can come out with any bullshit. This is just to quell the fears of what is happening. There's panic right now, and people know the losses are coming. And what do I mean by this? Check out the next part of the news. That is B.R. Shetty. B.R. Shetty, once upon a time, the most respected, the most honored, the most revered businessman from India, who was rubbing shoulders with the who's who. Now he's being smeared left, right, and center by every news channel, from Gulf News to Khalid Times to Arabian Business. And why they're doing that is because now they know the cat is out of the bag. Everyone is talking about it. Well, before they would not put anything negative about him because they were afraid of losing sponsorship money. They were afraid of losing advertising money. Now they don't give a damn because they know that this company doesn't have any money to advertise with us. So why should we not put anything negative? So you get various news like this. You have Gulf News that states that it's getting muddier for the leading UAE healthcare provider. Gulf News has also joined the bandwagon of making sure B.R. Shetty's failures are being exposed. Then NMC suspends B.R. Shetty. Bloomberg doesn't give a damn because Bloomberg is a global brand. February 10th, NMC shares dropped by 46%. Imagine 50% of its value is gone. And then you had this news coming in the national papers that said that NMC's chairman, that is B.R. Shetty, the founder, imagine, you created the company, you made everything happen, and now you are asked to resign. So he resigned as the director and non-executive chairman. Then following him, you have vice chairman Khalifa Al-Mueri. He was removed from the board of directors. So he said, fuck off, I don't need to take all this shit. He resigned. He didn't say fuck off. He just resigned. Then two other directors, another two local chocals, executive director and chief investment officer, Hani Butiki and Abdul Rahman Basadik. Okay, both of them resigned. And unfortunately, it seems B.R. Shetty was unreachable on the phone. Well, obviously, he will be reachable only when he gets an award or when he wears his nice little badge or when he shakes hands with the big sheikhs. He will be available that time. But when he is losing billions and billions, well, and I don't think he'll be available. And it's pretty incredible for a guy who was considered, like, I remember the introductions they have in Toastmasters and they have in all these forums, the visionary, the man who was, rags to riches, the billions, and he used to praise him. And obviously he would like it. Who doesn't like to be praised? Today, well, I don't think anyone is going to be praising him too much, unless, of course, they get a sponsorship. I don't wish him anything bad, but I'm just reading out what is coming up in the news for him. And it's not just him. The political scenario, the economic scenario is pretty bad. You have Arabian Business that openly says, and mind you, this is Arabian Business, so they are not keeping it hidden. 4th February 2020, UAE business growth halts for the first time since 2009. The business conditions have become worse, and it's ending decades of expansion. Decades of expansion, you keep, building new, creating new buildings and expanding new malls. And what do you expect? You're just expanding because you're expecting in the future for business to come in. That's absolutely stupid. In the future, everything is going to happen good. How about in the future, shit is going to happen. In the future, bad things are going to happen. So we need to make sure that we are prepared for the future. And they don't do that. They always like to show we are the biggest, we're the largest, we're the greatest, we're the richest. And you like to show off on Instagram, you like to show off on Facebook, you like to show off on YouTube. Well, now you need to face employment losses, drop in new orders, operating overheads are really high, nobody's purchasing anything, cash flow is getting locked, selling prices have been reduced for the 16th month in a row, there's no output for the first time in 10 years. Well, you need to face all this. And speaking about losses, you have Gulf Business that speaks about Al Farah Group, which is asked to restructure 2 billion dirhams, that's 554 million in liabilities. Now, for those of you who do not know, Al Farah Group once employed 18,000 people. They were involved in oil, gas, steel, interiors, concrete, mega projects. They had taken a loan of 2 billion dirhams from Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank, First Abu Dhabi Bank, and now they are unable to pay. Because of this, they are terminating lots of people. They are delaying their payments to employees. Employees, I imagine you work, but you don't get paid a salary. Even their vendors are not being paid. And it's not just Al Farah Group. You have Damac. Damac is everywhere. It's just being exposed as this company. And I'll tell you, from being a luxury brand today, it's going to be a bankrupt brand. 11th February, Damac reports a loss of 10 million US dollars. Arabian Business states this. Then you have VR that is also being shown as losses. See, Damac shows a loss of 10 million for 2019, 11th Feb. 12th Feb, you have VR that shows 1.5 billion dirhams loss. Then the next day, February 13th, Union Properties shows 218 million loss. And another 3 days later, February, Arabtech shows 774 million dirhams loss. So you have Damac that has a loss, VR that has a loss, Union Properties that has a loss, Arabtech has a loss. And what are the losses? Damac is 10 million loss, dirhams 10 million, VR is 1.5 billion, Union Properties 2.18 million, Arabtech 774 billion. So everyone's going in a loss. So if anyone tells you we are making profits, oh, the future is bright, shut the fuck up. Okay. Etihad sells 38 aircrafts for 1 billion. It's selling off. 5th February 2020, National has reported this. Khalid Times has reported this. Simpleflying.com has reported this. They've sold 38 aircrafts worth $1 billion to the global investment firm KKR and aviation firm Altair Air Finance. Why? Because they need to cut down on their cost. Etihad is going to shut down. It's going to go bankrupt. Okay. And if they would keep themselves alive, I think they'll just live up to being, let's say, an Abu Dhabi remote local operator, because they just want to keep a little bit of their name and prestige alive. Rest, global operations, it's over. Okay. I remember when the ads were coming out, what was her name? Nicole Kidman or the other one? They were showing off, oh, luxury and all that. The problem is when your ego goes far beyond what you can pay for, you will suffer. I'm not wishing the Emirate anything bad, but you know, you have dug your own grave. Okay, this is what you have done. I would say Abu Dhabi needs to stick to its roots. The vision that Sheikh Zayed had laid out of being simple, of focusing on agriculture, of being self-sustaining, that would have worked. You start going on, I got this, my thing is so big, bigger than yours and this and that. You're going to suffer. And the worst mistake that they made was getting involved in this war with the Yemeni Houthis, joining Saudi. Biggest fucking mistake. And now they're regretting it because the Yemenis will get back. And that is why you see in Al Jazeera, so many of the news outlets reporting of, Yemeni Houthis threatening to bomb UAE, Yemeni Houthis threatening to cause damage in Expo 2020, Yemeni Houthis planning to take revenge. You have opened a can of worms. Anyway, speaking about opening a can of worms, DP World will delist from Nasdaq Dubai. 17th February 2020, Arabian Business reports that in a statement, DP World will delist from Nasdaq Dubai. Sultan Ahmed bin Sulaiman, DP World's group chairman and CEO, said that the global ports and logistic industry has been undergoing a significant transition. Well, in other words, what they're trying to say is all these hi-fi words of consolidation and vertical integration and all the nation and apostation and distillation, sedimentation. In simple words is we are fucked. Okay, that's all they want to say. I'm sorry, we were overly ambitious. We thought we are going to conquer the global, we're going to dominate globally. But we failed to realize our limitations. We are just a small little Arab country, small little country. We can't compete globally. We were thinking far beyond what we could do. Well, they have to pay $5 billion worth of government debt. They are not in a position to do that. They have to pay $9.9 billion for a debt that will mature in 2020, 2022, which they don't have the money. $1 billion, which they have to pay in 2026. They don't have the money. And if you thought that was big, Dubai itself has to pay $23 billion in loans, which they have not paid. They failed to pay the second time. So borrowing money and showing off, anyone can do. Be self-sustaining. The problem is they just got carried away with showing off. And when you get carried away, there's a price to pay, and that is what is happening. Ex-Dragon Skull chief fires back, says the construction losses had to do more with the economy. I remember Dragon Skull, which was like a powerful brand. It was incredible those days when I was in Dubai. But today, it's a bankrupt company. So you have the CEO, Khaldoon Al-Tabari, who is currently in Jordan, who fires off against the management of Dragon Skull, stating that he has been, a victim of false accusations. However, well, you can't fight powerful people. Abu Dhabi authorities have alerted, charges against him, and he will be taken back. Oh yes, he is already taken back. Thanks to Interpol. Interpol is getting good commission for doing its work for UAE. So they have arrested him and he's going to be extradited back. Extradition. Okay, he's going to be sent back to UAE to face charges. So who's innocent? Who's guilty? We don't know. But then again, what can you do? You have Chalud's group CEO admits UAE has problems. Now, I find this very surprising because that is a retailing giant, okay? Chalud Group, massive global mammoth brand. And for them to admit that, they're going to offer, they are going through challenges, it's really bad. And how did they say this? Well, they are offering free space. You remember I told you that there were rumors flying around that Nakheel Mall is offering free rent for 2 years to many brands. Well, it's now official. I had told you this, that these were from reliable sources. Now, the reason why they're offering free space is because they have created the shopping mall, they've earned millions, and now nobody wants to open a shop there. So who would go to a shopping mall where there are empty shops? Nobody wants to go there. And the reason why nobody wants to open a shop is because you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to open a shop, to put the interiors, to get the new staff, to do everything, to have stock. And then you don't have any business. Well, you'll have to bear the losses. Now, the reason why nobody wants to open up shop is because low footfall, over speculation, future positive spending, anticipation of things will be better, excessive pricing, having an I don't give a fuck attitude, the take it or leave it, if you want, take it or go back to your own country. This is what they used to say before. And now they're fucked. So, what can you do? There are too many malls. I told this before. There are too many malls. You're still constructing malls. You're still constructing businesses. It's going to fucking shut down. My gut feeling, 80%, mark my words, this is my prediction. I have not been wrong with my prediction. 80% of the shopping malls are going to shut down. They're going to go in losses. They are just going to, they're not going to earn any more money. Okay. Just 20% will survive. And the ones that will survive are like, there are shopping mall, there are shopping center, there are city center, which is the central one, or Dubai Mall. That's it. Apart from any other mall, I don't see them surviving or sustaining. You will see shops closing down. Just watch, okay? Because you as a person, here's my question to you. If you're staying in Dubai, How many shopping malls can you visit with your family? You have once a week. That also after spending the whole day, a whole week working for more than 12 to 14 hours. One day you get free that you want to spend with your family. Okay, you'll just take them to one shopping mall, and you prefer to take them to a shopping mall where you can do your shopping, you can watch a movie, you can do a little bit of window shopping, walk around, and go back home. So one shopping mall, and the one shopping mall is normally either Dubai shopping mall, the largest, or Dera city center. I doubt anyone is going to go to any other mall, unless, of course, it just wants to waste time. Speaking about malls and businesses, and you have, what is this? Gulf News, Indian businessman Mr. Shoroff claims that he's still the developer of Dubai Marina. This has been going on for years. I think, close to 10 years? It's supposed to be the tallest residential building. It's supposed to be like they were talking as if it's going to be the wonder of Dubai Marina 101 project, the tallest tower. Well, I think at that time they failed to inform people that this building was being built on credit. This guy, Shoroff, he had borrowed from Bank of Baroda, Indian Overseas Bank and Bank of India. He had borrowed around 349 million, and he has to pay it back, and is now unable to pay it back, because of which the CEO of the banks have filed a case on him. And I think there are two camps. The banks are saying that this building now belongs to us. This guy, what's his name, Shoroff, claims, no, it belongs to me. Now, who does it belong to is a big question. And now the funny thing is, when the people who have paid the money for the apartments, they've been waiting for 10 years. Just imagine, you paid $1 million, you paid 1 million, you have not yet got your apartment, and your money is gone. So now when they went to Dubai Land Department, which once again I told you is a dummy, they create these rules. They create these rules to say, your money is protected. Don't worry, they're there for you. There are rules to protect you. But when the Gulf News approached Land Department, they said, oh, this is a matter that has to be sorted out between the bank and the developer. We can't be involved. Then why the hell do you exist? Investors have waited 10 years for their units with no hope. They are paid, and despite the building completed 97%, nobody can, move in. What the investors have to say, one person who didn't want to be identified said, I personally would prefer if this company is out, because they didn't communicate with us for 1 year. I don't trust them. And this is an investor who paid 1.6 million back in 2016. Imagine that. Hashim Al-Hassani purchased a one-bedroom apartment. Okay, he purchased 3 in 2013, paid 90%, 1.4 million up for each. So that's around 1.5. So he has paid around 5 million. And what he found out is he had paid for a nice sea view, but now it seems that there is no sea view because it is being obscured, blocked by an external elevator. On top of that, whatever there was a floor plan, that has not been, adhered to. He said, I just want a refund for breach of contract, and now he's not getting his money back, plus he's not getting what he has paid for. Another investor, Naiz Khan, spent 1.4 million upfront, full cash, in 2015. Until now, he has not got his apartment. Now do you understand why I tell people, be careful? You put your money, you think you're saving money, you pay everything upfront, you get nothing. So you tell me if I'm wrong. You tell me I'm wrong. People keep saying, oh, you're sharing fake news. Oh, you're so much of negativity. You tell me if I'm wrong. Okay. Reuters, and for those people who keep saying that I'm sharing fake news, Reuters, not Jazeera, not any hating outlet. This is Reuters.com, says Gulf wealth could be over in 15 years. International Monetary Fund said the Gulf oil wealth could vanish by 2034 if they don't have reforms. Why they say that? Because oil revenues are decreasing, taxes are increasing, deficits have increased. Saudi Arabia, before its deficit was 34 billion, now it's 50 billion, and it's going to increase the next year. Countries like Kuwait need refinancing. Oman needs a total structural change. Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi, UAE, their unity is no longer there. They no longer can get revenues from crude oil and oil income. And after 20 years of oil, 2014, the GCC, the Middle East, had 2.5 trillion worth of assets. Okay. Today, their wealth is reduced to 2 trillion. So 0.5 trillion is wiped off. GCC government debts have risen to 100 billion in 2014. Now it is $400 billion. So in 4 years, it has gone 4 times more. Most of the GCC states, Middle East, they have started to embark on economic diversification, reform programs, subsidy cuts, but at the same time, they're raising prices, imposing value-added tax and taxation. So now, the Middle East is no longer a very attractive place to make quick money. So why would people come down there? Why would someone want to work there for lower income? And here's the thing. Until now, the Gulf states were showing this biggest building, tallest building, largest shopping mall because they could get cheap labor. Now people don't want to come there. You're taxing me money. You're charging me hidden charges. It's become expensive to live there. Why should I come there and work for cheap? You're taking my passport. You're not letting me go back to my country. So I would rather earn less and be in my country than supposedly earn more, but spend more to be in a country that is not my own, where I don't have any rights. So you tell me if I'm wrong. So these were bits and pieces in terms of the business market. Now let's move on to the job scene of UAE. This is a Bloomberg news. Now, what I've noticed is Bloomberg has taken the approach of kind of talking about all the negative aspects about UAE, because I think what happens is you get Gulf News, you get Khaleej Times, you get National Paper, always talking the good stuff, always talking the positive. Oh, UAE is doing very well. The market is going to rise. They are going to make profits. So many people are going to get jobs. So nobody's talking about, okay, this is the other side of the, the equation or the table. So you need a balanced argument. So I think Bloomberg is taking up the role of kind of exposing more of this is what people are not talking about. And what they say here is Dubai jobs or UAE-based jobs are vanishing at the fastest pace in a decade. Now, I'll give you my thoughts here. First, what it says is 10th February 2020. It says that the business growth in Dubai has stalled. Jobs are disappeared. Dubai's non-private sector has worsened for the 3rd straight year. It's the lowest. Its purchasing managers index dropped to 50.6. The sectors that have been impacted are wholesale, retail, construction. So employment is down. And Dubai's biggest banks, from Emirates, NBD, to First Abu Dhabi Bank, they have cut thousands of jobs, especially now that the viral break in China has taken place. It seems that it's going to affect transport, logistics, tourism at the first quarter at least. Now, I'll give you my thoughts. On one side, yes, I do agree that business growth is going to stop. Why? Because more people are not going to come in. More people are not going to spend money. So when you don't have more people coming in, more people spending money, why do you want to increase your overheads? You'll reduce your overheads, okay? So in that way, growth is going to stop. Where jobs are concerned, yes, people will be losing jobs, but I've always told you, the people who will be losing jobs are the ones who are paid very good salaries, the big salary guys. So they're going to lose jobs, and at the same time, you will bring in replacements to those jobs. So you'll bring in people who can take on, let's say, for example, a manager was earning 10,000. Just give a rough figure, 10,000. And there were, let's say, 2 managers earning 10,000, 10,000. What they'll do is they'll bring another guy and say, a guy whose dream was to get this position, let's say manager, his dream was to get this position. They will say, okay, we'll give you an opportunity to be manager, senior manager, or some dummy title. Titles don't matter. Anyway, you can have vice president, you can have regional director, you can have managing director. Open up a company in the free zone, have just an office desk and phone, and call yourself managing director on your business card. This is what almost everyone does in the Middle East. So, fake dummy designation. So they'll give him manager, manager dash marketing, manager dash sales, manager dash anything. So you can give this big title and you say, I'll give you a chance of lifetime, you'll get 8,000. So for a guy who's getting 5,000 or 6,000 or 7,000, for him to get 8,000, 9,000, wow. And they'll give him not one person's job, but two people's responsibilities. So the company is actually saving the overheads of one person's salary for the whole year. So if 10,000 is 120,000 per year, you're saving. So if you get, let's say, 4 or 5 people, you have saved $500,000. So this is the approach companies are going to go. So yes, growth is going to stop this year, at least as far as I see it. People in big jobs will lose their jobs, but there will be new vacancies. And I'm seeing that every single day. That is where, and I know this because I prepare people's resume. I help them get jobs. I prepare them for interviews. I make sure that they stand out from the rest of the crowd. So I know this. So that is why I'm saying, take both sides of the argument. Okay, don't just take one. Now, in terms of job cuts and job losses, HSBC is going to cut down 35,000 jobs across the globe because their profits have dipped almost 1/3. And now it's become even worse because of the virus, the problems in China. They are scrapping $100 billion in assets, reducing their costs by $4.5 billion. They're going to terminate 4,700 high-level positions. And the total number of jobs that they're going to cut down is 35,000. Why? Because during the boom period, almost everyone was joining the bank to make money. Good commissions were there. But now nobody is ready to part with their money, so they're losing money. And they need to cut down their costs. And it has increased even more with the virus problem in China. It has impacted Hong Kong. It has impacted the Asian region at least. Okay. Speaking about banks, here is a rundown of all the banks that are actually terminating people. Remember, I told you this. I think I told you this exactly a year ago that banks are going to cut down 50 to 70% of their total workforce. My exact prediction now is 80% of all the people in the Middle East, 80%, especially in UAE, will lose their jobs. The high-paying salaries, get ready, you will lose your jobs. And what do I back this on? The following updates. 3rd February 2020, Dubai Islamic Bank cuts down 500 jobs after the Noor acquisition. That was 3rd February. 6th February, First Abu Dhabi Bank is going to cut hundreds of jobs. So 3 days later. Then you have 6 days later, almost a week, Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank is going to cut down even more jobs because it has to save 500,000 dirhams because of bad, sluggish economic growth. They're going to close down branches in Egypt, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and UK. Then if you check Bloomberg, you check first, that is gulfbusiness.com and Arabian Business. All three have reported the banks, which are ADIB, then First Abu Dhabi Bank, Emirates NBD, one of the largest. So all the banks across the board are cutting down on employees. That's why. And banking employees, if you lose your job, it's very hard, very, very hard for you to get a placement because now there is an excess of bankers unemployed in the market. It's not just banks. You have OSN, which was the largest Middle East network, Orbit Showtime network. It offered premium channels, 86 for MENA viewers, was owned by Panther Media Group and the joint venture between Kuwaiti Projects, KIPCO, and Saudi Investment Mawarid Group Limited, the largest direct broadcast satellite provider. In 2013, this company was valued at $4.3 billion. Okay, they were so big, and they had speculated that they're going to grow even more bigger. They even rejected a $3.2 billion buyout for a 60% share. Just imagine, they said no for $3.2 billion offer in cash. Okay, cash or whatever. Now they are only worth at 665 million. So that's, I would say, one fourth, 1/6. It's shocking. Huh? It's 1/8. Just imagine. They were offered $3.2 billion. They said no. And today they're valued at 665 million. It's very sad. And what is the reason? Now, here's the question. The main focus should be why a company that was valued at $4.3 billion, why is it today valued at only 665 million? Number one, leadership. They changed the top guys at the top. They brought in fresh blood. And when you bring someone at the top, it always happens, whether it's Petrofac, whether it's any company, once you change the guy at the top, he brings his own goons down below. So what they did is, they have these multinational companies, especially in the Middle East, have this thing for white-skinned people with white passports. And all these guys who come to the Middle East, they come with this big hype and, pink tie, and they look with gelled hair, and they talk with, oh, hi, how are you? And, all this impressive jargon. So they bought a lot of people from Europe and the UK, especially the UK. They had no Middle East experience, no track record, and they were paid overhyped salaries, which increased their overheads, and they did their own thing. They bought their own gangs. Number three is they ditched the things that really worked with the Middle East market. They ditched focusing on the low-income spenders. They only wanted high-income spenders. Now, before, they had 3 buildings in Dubai, Media City, Internet City. I know this because I used to travel to Internet City and Media City. Now they've closed down Dubai Internet City offices. They are planning to reduce it to just 1 building. It seems OSN employees, they have been facing massive terminations for the last 24 months. There's lack of security, and it's a very unpleasant environment to work. As per this report, it says, one of the former employees said, when we go to work, we just don't know whether we are going to have the job or not going to have a job. Many of us don't know if we are going to be called into the room with the HR and be told, I'm sorry, you've lost your job. We don't need you. It's like we're dodging bullets every day. Remember the example I gave you of one of the guys who was working as the top manager in the company. He was called to the HR, and they just called him and said, please leave the premises, wait at the reception, and we will let you know what is going on. They'll be like, what's going on? They take your security badge. They literally make you sit at the reception. Imagine you have been working in a company for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, your whole life. You know everyone like a family. And then all of a sudden, they take your security badge. They make you wait at the reception, treat you like an outsider, and terminate you. How does it feel? This is life in the Middle East. And talking of the Middle East, Oman, I've been getting a massive number of people who have been getting in touch with me. I think to date, since February, I think I've got 11 people whose resumes I made from Oman. The reason being is 6th February 2020, Oman announces further ban on expats. Now it is sales and purchasing representatives will not have their visas renewed. So whomsoever is already there, you'll work until your time is up, and most of them will be asked to leave. In November last year, Oman ruled out visas for construction workers and cleaners. Now they are planning to put it for sales, which is already confirmed. Next one is Oman is going to start issuing bans for visas for IT, accounts, finance, sales, marketing, management, human resource, insurance, media, medical, airports, engineering, basically the whole thing. And they're planning to remove all the 1.7 million expats. So if you're working in Oman, take my honest, cautionary piece of advice. Better start looking out for a job. Get the fuck out. Otherwise, you're going to end up nowhere. Okay, now let's move on to UAE-based news for the expats. Okay, these are bits of the news that I felt would really impact the expats. The first one is from national.ae, 13th February 2020. This lady, her name is Caroline Labouchiri. I hope Labouch? Okay. She is a mature model. By mature model means a lady who is in her 50s, who gets positioned as an mature, as an older lady. She's very beautiful, okay, very elegant. She kind of reminded me of Celine Dion. She gave her actual story of how she, when her husband lost his job in 2014, how they went through a financial nightmare where they slept on the floor, they lost their 5-bedroom villa, they lost all the luxuries that they have. And she was honest enough to share that when she arrived in Dubai, they wanted to live the dream. They had a big, like a bucket list. They had a 5-bedroom villa, they had a swimming pool, they had a housekeeper. So they're living like the rich folks, the who's who. However, after he lost his job, they couldn't sustain that lifestyle. They couldn't live that life. So she had to literally survive doing whatever she could. So she took up odd jobs, started as a model. Her husband, he started to work, just desperately seek jobs. Finally, he got a job in a gym as a partner, and they went through it. In this article, she clearly gives the difficulties that they had to go through, from losing all their friends to staying in a small room, sleeping without an AC. And I know this because my parents also, when they lost their jobs, they would not put on the AC to save on electricity because it was very expensive. So they were staying homeless, no air conditioning, living off savings, living off charity of other people and their kindness. And she says one of the reasons why she was able to keep a sanity and move rather than falling into self-pity were even her dogs. She says they used to take care of their dogs like their family. She's saying many times I didn't want to get up from bed, but because I had to take care of my dogs, I had to get up. Today, David, her husband, works as a local partner in a local gym where he remains today, and they're doing far off. The best part of this article is the advice that she gave. He said, do you have any regrets? She said, the regret is we were living too large when we came to Dubai. We're living far beyond our means. And that is something I always tell you. Dubai has this thing where it sucks you into trying to show off, trying to show you're larger than life. Okay. Now, this news has been going around 10th February 2020. UAE banks. Now, which are the banks? The banks are Emirates NBD, Mashreq Bank, Abu Dhabi Commercial Bank, Doha Bank, National Bank of Oman, and National Bank of Bahrain. Among the 9 banks, they would be going to India and filing legal action against Indian defaulters to recover 26 billion dirhams. That's $7 million US dollars. Now, these UAE-based banks are going to go to India to file cases. Now, many people ask me, what do I think about this? I just look at this as a scare tactic. The question is, will they ever get their money back? My straightforward answer, no, they're not going to get. And even if they try to get, it's just going to be a lengthy process. What is the proof? Or how do I state this? Very simple. Look at the number of pending cases in India. 4.3 million cases as per Economic Times of India. 4.3 million cases are pending. And out of them, many of them are older than 10 years. That means for 10 years, people have been going to court, coming back, going to court, coming back. And the cases are not resolved. So as it is, you have 4.3 million cases which are pending. And many of them are 10 years and older. So you seriously think when they are not able to solve 4.3 million pending cases, adding another, let's say 100,000 more is going to solve anything? Well, in a way, it is good that they are now taking steps to ensure that people don't run away with the money. But as far as getting the money, all the best. Once someone has taken, they're going to keep running away. And eventually they'll do like what Reliance chairman Anil Ambani said. They'll declare bankruptcy. What will you do? Put them in jail and end up with nothing? All right. Next one, Gulf News, 8th February 2020, 3,376 cases of illegal transportation in Abu Dhabi. Motorists are slapped with 3,000 dirhams fine, 24 traffic points. Privately transporting passengers without license is illegal in UAE. I do agree that rules have to be followed. But then again, here's my question. You make transportation so bloody expensive. You pay small salaries. You charge sky-high rents. You make transportation. There's no proper public transportation. It only goes straight. If you have to go left and right, in the bloody heat of 50 degrees. People can't walk. And if you're earning, let's say, 100 dirhams a month and you have to spend 40 or 50 or 60 or even 80 on taxi, what the fuck do you save, man? So give them a bloody solution. You don't have a solution and you start, just suffocating people. People will stop coming to UAE. That's what is happening. That is why they're finding it hard to get talented people come to UAE. And that is why these incidents still exist. Oh, this one was pretty odd, rather funny. February 3rd, 2020, Gulf News. An employee, 41-year-old Omani in Etihad, he was caught trying to steal he stole 14.7 million dirhams from mobile recharge cards. Now, this is an incredibly high amount of money. So they didn't give the details. How did he do that? Okay. It seems that he is to collect the cards which are damaged and somehow transfer it to his account. But the reason why they were suspicious is because he was an idiot. Why? Because even though his salary is 17,196, he was the only guy in Etihad who was driving a Range Rover and had a Bentley and had a Rolex. You're trying to cheat the system and you're showing off. What a bloody idiot. He brought in so much of attention on him, they caught him. Well, I hope now he enjoys his time in jail. Next one, 5th February 2020. This is a good news for those people, genuinely good news for those people who don't give excuses about life, who take personal responsibility. You remember this guy? This Nigerian who was dancing, being a cleaner. He was dancing with his nice little earphones and, the iPod or whatever iPhone that he had. Not iPhone, smartphone. So his name is Lucky Etinosa, who's a Nigerian. He was the dancing garbage man who one of the Arab gentlemen took his video as he was dancing in the heat, but he was being cheerful. He ended up trending on Twitter, or 200,000 times on Twitter, with 3,000 retweets, and on Instagram he got 22,000 views. Because he got so viral, people started offering him jobs because of his good personality, cheerful attitude, and he was offered with plenty of jobs. Finally, took up a job in a coffee shop, and he's training to become a barista. So wish him all the best. And it's good to see that somebody is not complaining, not moaning and groaning, but doing the best of what he can do. Well, here's another bit of news, which I'd like your views on it. Khalid Times. A man punches his boss in UAE. Why? Because the boss refused to give him his passport, refused to, for him to transfer to another company and get another job. This is one of the reasons why I hate UAE laws. Once you get a job, they take your passport. They prevent you from getting any other job. They prevent you from going anywhere else. They prevent you from even going back home. They just keep you as a bloody slave. So even though I want to support this man and say, well, he did right. The problem is in UAE, you break the law, even if the law is not right, you broke the law. And this poor guy ended up with 40,000 dirhams fine. He's jailed and he'll be deported. So he has lost his livelihood. He has lost his means to survive, lost everything. It's sad. It's sad. It's sickening and it's sad. That is why I absolutely, that's one of the reasons why I left UAE, because when you're an expat, you're a slave. You're just a slave there because they take your passport and you can't do anything. You have to dance to their tunes. Until they give you your passport in your hand, you can't do anything. So let me know your thoughts. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, couple of miscellaneous news that I thought would be nice to share. Ivanka Trump arrives in UAE. It's big hue and cry. Everyone's talking about it. Well, she's a very elegant-looking lady. And, now because she's visiting, they are talking of a lot of women's rights and women should do this and women should do that. And there was this one particular female who is supposed to be a social media thing. She looks like one of those Barbie dolls with so much of silicone on her face. She looks big. And she's talking about entrepreneurship. I don't know how far, who is she or what she is. But if you look at her closely, her lips are... Anyway, I have tattoos on my face. I know. I have also put all this shit on my face. So why am I commenting? Fine. Okay. Anyway, that's one thing. Speaking about UAE, Dubai police, yes, they have the most expensive cars, they have the most expensive technology, and now they are having 5G-enabled police patrol cars. So it's good. It's good to have high degree of security. This is one of the reasons why people love UAE. The security is world class. Bit of positive news: UAE is the world's retains the title for the world's busiest airport. That is as for 5th February 2020. Gulf News portrays this in a very positive light, stating that Dubai Airport is the world's #1 hub for the 6th consecutive year at 86.4 million. So it's 6 million more than its nearest rival, London Heathrow. India was the top destination for Dubai-based passengers, followed by Saudi, United Kingdom, China, and US. Okay, China, I don't think many people will be traveling. However, news at yahoo.com had a different way to report this. So, like I tell you, the headlines, the way you word the headlines, show the image. So, Gulf News said, "Congratulations, Dubai wins the title for the world's busiest airport." But Yahoo News says Dubai Airport reports the first dip in passenger numbers in 20 years. The traffic has dropped by 3.1% to 86.4, down from 89.15 million passengers in 2018. So same figure, 86.4. Gulf News says, wow. Yahoo says, no. So you tell me. And talking of a bit of odd news, you have Sheikh Hamdan approves a code for Dubai employees, code of conduct. And then he also approves reduction of government fees, 6th February. I would like to see Sheikh Hamdan have revenue generating policies or ideas. Still waiting for that. It's just these soft decisions of, okay, we're going to have a new designation, happiness person, we're going to have new code, you're going to reduce government fees, you're going to forgive people's loans. You need to focus more on the revenue aspect. Anyway, this is what is said in the papers. Then you have UAE News, 7th February 2020. You know, the Emirates Airlines 2016, which reported that plane, Emirates Airlines, that caught fire. So here, as per the report, it seems the reason it caught fire is because of the fault of the pilots. They failed to realize that there was not enough power to restart the engines or to ensure that it was airborne, and because of which it caught fire. They compensated the passengers with quite a large sum of money, most of them being Indians, so they were very happy. Sadly, one of the firefighters lost his life while trying to, fight the fire. So that was really sad. It was really a sad day. I mean, you wouldn't want that to happen to anyone. And I doubt these pilots are going to get a job ever again. Emirates flight EK521. Dubai Autism Center closes down because you have this British financier, Sanjay Shah. He is Indian, but with a British passport, moved to Dubai in 2009, lives on the Palm Jumeirah development, once kept a £1 million yacht. Okay, so he has been slapped with a £1.5 billion alleged tax fraud. £1.5 billion. Whoa, that's a lot of money. And because they have frozen his, funds, he now cannot support Dubai Autism Center, and because of which they're going to close down. So that's another sad thing. Okay, bit of funny, odd news. These are UAE based. The first one, the funny news that I'd like to share with you, which I found funny, is Dubai government is asking, do you have any ideas? Send it to us through College Times. So if you have any great ideas, please feel free to share these ideas with them. But what I tell people is just be careful. If anything negative, you're going to be in trouble. So you want to give positive ideas, happy ideas. Go ahead. Cristiano Ronaldo gets a golden visa, 13th Feb. It seems Sheikh Mohammed has announced golden visas for gifted athletes. So if you're an international athlete, you're successful, you have all the talent in the world. In other words, you're rich, you're successful, you have everything, and you don't need a visa, Well, guess what? We'll give you a free visa. I don't know how that's going to help anyone. They're so rich, they don't need a visa because they have enough money. They automatically get a visa. So why do you need a golden visa? It just doesn't make sense. It's like, I'm full, I don't want to eat food, and you're saying, come have my buffet. I'll offer you a buffet when you're full. Who's going to eat? Okay. Next one is, if you flirt with a woman, you'll be jailed. So I'll read this particular incident. This is from College Times. See the question. Huh? The question is, I'm a senior business executive based in the Emirate of Dubai. Recently, I attended a meeting at an office, and after it was over, I initiated a conversation with a woman receptionist there. I complimented her about her beauty, invited her to accompany me for coffee. Thereafter, the following day, the said receptionist was waiting downstairs with the police. I was confronted by the cops and made aware the woman had filed a complaint against me. Have I committed an offense? Will a complaint be filed against me during a court trial? Now, you are filing a court case if you flirt with a woman. Here's my question. What if a woman flirts with a man? Then what do you do? Bigger question. What if it's an Emirati local? So expat makes a complaint against Emirati local. Would you treat them the same way? Let's assume it's an Emirati female, no evidence, and she makes a claim. Then what will happen? See, you have these laws that you bring out and it just doesn't make sense. The problem in UAE is, as long as you're an expat, you're guilty by default. If you're an Emirati, you are innocent unless proven guilty. So when you have double standards, these rules don't make any sense. You have this one from dailymail.co.uk, which I found stupid. 13th February, look at the date, 13th February, one day before Valentine, because anyway, people will be searching about Valentine and sex and romance and love. They said, Dubai's dark secret, the poor British women living in Dubai turn to casual sex to cope with mental health. Shut the fuck up, man. It's like as if the poor victims, they love sex as it is. They love sex. Who doesn't fucking love sex? Oh, poor thing. To cope up with the stress, they're turning to casual sex. They're turning to alcohol. They're turning to cosmetic surgery. Here's news fucking flash. When someone is under stress, they work hard. I know quite a number of people, when they are under stress, they work harder. They earn revenue. You turn to sex, and then I turn to sex, I turn to alcohol to cope up with stress. Shut the fuck up. You can go for exercise. You can go for, so many other things. This Western sense of entitlement. Oh, I'm stressed. Let me smoke. Let me take drugs. This is all fucking bullshit, man. Take personal responsibility. That's what I tell people. And I found this, one customer got in touch with me and he asked me how much for my resume services. When I told them whatever my charge was, he said, "Why? Do you know this website?" He sent me the link, this one. They do CVs for free, resumes for free. Then I told him, go ahead. Go to fiverr.com, go to forward.com, go to freelance.com, go to guru.com, go to upwork.com. They'll do a resume for $5. So I'm giving you all this, not just this. Go do it for $5. You can even get resumes for free if you Google search. So go there. Why are you coming to me? In fact, I've told people, instead of coming to me, find out a wasta, find out a contact. For those of you who don't know what is wasta, wasta means contact. If you have a contact, it solves all your problems and you'll get a job easily. You don't need my service. But if you don't have a contact, you don't have a wasta, and you're not getting with your existing CV, then come to me. Don't fucking come to me and then say, oh no, I can get this. Then go, please. I tell you, go. Don't come to me. I've even given you the website. Go to all these websites. You will get it for free. In fact, I'll even share with you the names. I'll put it down somewhere, maybe here. These are the websites. Go to these websites. You'll get a resume for $5. So you will get your CV for $5 or Google search. I've even put videos on resume tips, strategies. Check all this for free. So you don't have to come to me. And then after all this, don't call me and bitch about the fact that, oh no, this and that. Shut the fuck up. That's what I tell people. Okay. And last but not the least, I'll just share with you what readers have shared with me. These are some of the things. I'll just go on and share with you what I've received. First one is this nice little coronavirus screenshot. This is what they were sharing in Thailand. Thai logic, when you see people driving motorbikes without helmets but still wearing a medicine mask that protects from virus. Annual Thai deaths from corona, 0. Annual Thai deaths from H3N1, that is the bird flu, I think, 40. Annual Thai deaths from SARS, 17. Annual deaths from traffic accidents, 11,468. So people die more out of traffic accidents, but they'll not wear a helmet. But coronavirus, they will wear a mask, which I thought was very apt. This one was pretty good. I mean, have a look at this screenshot. And you can see it's how to reduce risk with coronavirus. Clean your hands, cover your nose, mouth, avoid close contact, then cook meals, eggs, whatever. And the last one, I want you to focus on the last one. Avoid unprotected contact with live, wild or farm animals. See, avoided unprotected contact. What people do is they use Photoshop and they share fake news, and this is what you get. Avoid unprotected sex with live farm animals. Imagine, it was unprotected contact. They changed it to unprotected sex. So please be careful. Whatever you see online doesn't mean it's true. Verified. Next one is the impact of coronavirus. You see how this guy is dressed up, completely covered in plastic bags. These have been going around, and these are real incidents. I've seen one here in Thailand, people putting plastic bags all over them. This guy is purchasing all the noodles because he's afraid noodles will be out of stock. I don't know how far this is actually related to coronavirus, but this was going around. These are the streets of Hong Kong, where people were vandalizing Free China, and now nobody has time to protest. And if common sense was common, people wouldn't be doing this. This guy not only shares his image, but he's putting a female's panty on his face saying, this is the way to protect yourself from coronavirus. I mean, that vagina has been with so many STDs and he's putting it on his mouth. Well, all the best to you. This is the impact of coronavirus. Shelves are empty. People are just buying and storing in their house. This is not uncommon. I've seen even when the hurricane was passing by from Thailand, even though Thailand was not in danger or Samui is not in danger, all the 7-Eleven, all, not exaggerating, all of them were empty. People just buy like crazy. Now coming to a little bit of expo-related updates. These were nice little photographs that I received from people who are circulating. This was an expo-related. Then you have the pavilion is getting ready. If you actually look at it, they are using lighting to kind of give them an indication how it looked like after the whole pavilion is ready. So then you have other screenshots of Sheikh Mohammed with MBZ, and then you have a little bit of lights, another video that was being shared. You have nice little images here and there of them walking around and all the VIPs, the who's who coming. Now, I think these kind of images are important because it gives a feeling of confidence. So many locals, so many people. Now, here's the funny thing. All these are people with suits and ties and all that, but you'll never see any of the workers and laborers there. They are the ones who should be honored. But then again, this is the reality of engineering. You get only the big guys who just give barking orders. And yes, they want a photo opportunity, so we all will be there. So lots of Expo 2020 photographs going around. Anyway, that's Expo. Coming to what fans write, this one is from M. Rahman Babu, who compliments me by saying, a pure son of a bitch and ugly trash, looks like a genuine devil from hell. Rubbish. Thank you very much, Mr. Rahman Babu. Next one is Mohsin Mohammadi. I came across your YouTube video, especially the one on the income tax in Dubai. Your explanation of Salik and parking charges being taken from one salary is utter rubbish, as these charges have nothing to do with income tax. If you have ever lived in a developed country, you would have known that a road toll charges and parking fees are paid over and above income taxes in many countries. Take London, UK for an example. Citizens pay the income tax. Well, UAE is not UK. They even have to pay green tax or congestion tax in central London and parking as well. Well, check the salaries of UAE versus UK for even the basic jobs. You'll get to know what I'm saying. So your statement does not make sense at all. So please in future, do your research before misguiding the people. Misguiding spelling wrong, Moshin. May I ask what's up with you trying to put on an accent to sound like a European lad? Stay original and keep to your roots. Okay, sir. Okay. As you say, Mr. Moshin Mohammadi, you don't sound British, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. I hope that makes him happy. Okay. Kathleen Diane Ramos, even you cover your speaking with English diction, we can still hear your Indian accent. Sorry, but you still looks like an Indian. I still looks like an Indian because I am an Indian. Kathleen Diane Ramos, what do you, Bilibino? Drink bulalau and crispy pata. Okay. Next one is who's this? Bupiti Bob. Dear God, give us Kobe Bryant and we'll give you Loy Machedo. No problem, sir. Okay, which God? Next one. This one, obviously, I've censored the name. The picture shows a very beautiful female, but I've censored it. I saw an article from you about couple swap in Dubai. Can you give me more details about the same? So I asked her, do you want to get into it? Yeah, I'm just curious. I would like to try it. Very interesting. Then I got this fan who sent me this. It's a face mask. He's saying, anyone have a requirement? He even tried to call me. And he said, sir, I want to purchase this. So he's asking me if he can purchase this in bulk quantity. Next one, Wakar Gulam says, wonder who's paying you to make such misleading videos. So I told him the Qatar government maybe. Then Dauda Lia says, gives the number, this number, WhatsApp me if you're in Dubai and want to hook up. Why would you want to put your number, that also publicly on, YouTube? Okay. I found this pretty interesting. 7 years ago, I'd started my brand launch. So, Loy Machedo, the tattoo trainer, loymachedo.com. This was 7 years ago, just imagine. Then I got this video from one guy who was actually watching my videos at his home. Thank you so very much. I'm honored. Then I got another guy who was watching while driving. So, thank you so very much. So nice to see some videos like this outside Heriot University. Okay. Then I got this one, which was on LinkedIn. Reader sent it to me. This managing director and CEO to Onja Events Management, which says, send your CV here for a blowjob. Current vacancies in Bahrain. So Kaushif Muid Rabani says, please correct blow with below to avoid confusion. Good one. Next one, he's my friend. He's my friend on Facebook. His name is Rolf Blonchberg or whatever. He's saying, your daughter brings him home. How do you greet him? Well, he looks very freaky. People mistook me for him when he came down to Dubai and he was sent away because they called him a devil who practices black magic. Somebody sent me this. She's 20 years older than my mom, but that's love. An Egyptian toy boy, 35, says love for 80-year-old British grandma is genuine. Yes, absolutely. I'm very sure that it's genuine. Then this one, this guy in ClickFunnels, someone sent me this. Hi, everyone. I created a course on how to sell a course. So what is the best way to sell my course? So he created a course on how to sell the course and he doesn't know how to sell his course. Then this gentleman said, it was great meeting John Travolta for dinner. That is not John Travolta, my dear. That is Steven Seagal. Okay. This was trending in UAE. This person had shared this video of this girl being bullied in school. And they had put the hashtag that it was Repton School. It was not Repton School. It was Gems, one of Gems schools. And this girl was bullied. It's really sad, this video. And I also received this from somebody who had sent it to me with regards to what had happened. So this person had said, thank you for writing to us and alerting us about the video. We have been aware of this for 2 weeks. A full investigation is conducted. 2 students have been withdrawn from school and there have been 5 suspensions. All the students in grade 7 have been spoken to. and letters had been sent to parents of grade 7. It was a relatively isolated incident and contained to a small group of students. So this was the incident that took place. It was not Repton School, but rather Gems World Academy. So the principal has responded to the person, and they've given the father's name and everything, but I've censored it. Okay. Next one is, what is the number of Indians living abroad? Which country hosts the most Indians? There are 1.36 crore Indians. That's the highest number who are staying abroad, out of which in Dubai, you have around 3 million Indians. So in Dubai itself. Saudi Arabia is 2.5 million, US 1.2 million, Kuwait 1 million, Oman 700,000, Qatar 756, Nepal 500,000, UK 300,000, Singapore 350,000. Yeah. So that is why they want to tax them. Another reader sent me this. A young student, or rather a young man, 24-year-old, committed suicide because his parents wanted to delay his marriage. So I don't know what to say. I would just say that, well, I hope this solved your problem. Another one, this gentleman asked me, I've censored his name. Hi, lawyer, I'd like your permission to use your face for my WhatsApp and profile group. It keeps me inspired because when I'm feeling down, when I've hit rock bottom in my life, if you say, okay, only then I will use. What I told him is, learn to use your own image as motivation and inspiration, because when you see yourself in the mirror, you have to learn to accept yourself, you have to learn to love yourself, and you have to know that you don't need any hero, you're a hero yourself. And the best example I gave him is tomorrow, when your baby looks at you, who do you want your baby to look at, you or look at someone else for inspiration? So I hope that answered his question. Well, this photograph was sharing. It looks like a very harmless. You have coffee, you have fruits, you have steak and French fries. But then, if you look closely at the dish that is here, you see a naked lady, which I've censored. Anyway, I'm sure you'll get it online. Oh, Gadsad is one of my favorites. Nice little tweet. The democratization of knowledge. There's no truth, only my truth. And he shares this. I'm sorry for the bad news. So before, it was a leading scientist in the 1980s who was recognized as an expert. In the 1990s, he had a PhD student who was considered an expert. Then in the year 2000, it was a media expert. And now it's Calvin on Facebook who is considered an expert. Very nicely said. And the evolution of education. In 1970s, it was calculate the surface area of the object. In 1985, it's calculate the surface of the rectangle. In the year 2000, it became calculate the surface, multiplying the length and the width. They gave the answer. In 2010, it was choose the right answer. In 2015, is choose the right answer. What is the surface of the rectangle? Where they gave the options being Michael Jackson, Canada, 600, or breakfast. In the year 2018, it is color the rectangle with the color that you prefer. And that is education for you. Sad. Oh, this one was pretty unique. I found this and it was pretty surprising. Go to Google, okay, type the Wizard of Oz. Okay, so go to Google, type the Wizard of Oz, touch the red slipper that you see at the side, and then after that, touch the tornado, and you'll thank me for it. I tried it, very amazing. I would say try it yourself and see what you get. And yeah, do share with me in the comments after you tried it. What did you feel? This one I thought was really incredible. This was shared online. So let me get this straight. I go to the grocery shop, buy a pound of sliced ham wrapped in plastic, a loaf of bread in a plastic bag, a gallon of milk in a plastic jug, a pack of napkins wrapped in plastic, a Greek salad in a plastic container, a plastic bottle of mustard, and a plastic bottle of ketchup. And they won't give me a plastic bag to carry it home because a plastic bag is bad for the environment. Really thought-provoking, very powerful, incredible. Next one, this guy, he sent me a message which I shared and which many people were talking about. And this is not a fake one, this is a real one. Hey Loy, I'm a bachelor Indian living in Dubai's top aluminum producing company and getting a monthly salary of 10,000 dirhams, that means 10,000 dirhams. I got an offer from an Indian government company for 5,000, that is half. Should I go? This is what Indian expats are asking. Even though they're getting less, they want to go back home because they get to be with their families. They don't have all these hidden charges. They don't have all this stress. They have the freedom. So nowadays, expats prefer even lesser salaries, but more peace of mind. So do you see this as a normal pattern right now? Let me know your thoughts. Next one, this was, "Dear Lloyd brother, I'm on a visit visa. I can work hard. Help me for an accountant job." So I said, okay. He said, thanks. And that was it. I don't know who is he. I don't have his CV. I don't have anything. Well, these are the kinds of people who are looking for jobs. This guy was a genius. His professional snapshot, he says, "Seizing the challenge direction in an organization that requires a motivated, creative, and cutthroat individual." Well, and he's wondering why is he not getting a job. You put words like cutthroat and all that, I wonder who will give you a job. Then I've censored this. This guy is showing off on social media with his image wearing a suit and tie and all that stuff. But the funny thing is, he doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the money to even afford to make a CV. And this is what people do. They show off. But anyway, all the best to him. Then you had this guy. He actually shared this on his, get a hold of this. He has got a medal, cheap, like it'll cost less than a few cents. A plastic medal, cheap material. He has put this on his CV and he's saying he's a top performer. And then he was wondering why he's not getting a job. But, this one was really funny, worth sharing. You can see this. This is the subject. Job application for any big reputable freight forwarding company in Dubai for the post of senior managerial level, post operations manager or imports manager or general manager or marketing manager or customer service manager. This is the subject. So this gentleman, whose name I've censored, says, "Dear Lloyd, good afternoon. Actually, I'm a good follower of your YouTube channel and really impressed, especially when you help people in their job search. I'm a Tanzanian of Asian origin, Hindu, single. I live in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I have vast experience of 27 years in freight forwarding sector in Tanzania. I'm now interested to shift to Dubai and work in any established, reputable freight forwarding company which can provide a visit visa, air ticket besides normal requirement of housing, internal transport, home, medical and good salary. I really appreciate your kind gesture if you can do the needful for me because I'm sure you have several contacts over there. I'm even ready to pay your charges if I succeed to get a job. Please find my CV and certificates." So he gave me his WhatsApp, he gave me his cell number. Thank you. Okay. Now, why am I sharing this? Now, obviously, I'll not share with you his name, nothing. Why am I sharing this? Number one, he wanted me to give him a service which he will pay me after he gets a job. Okay, after he gets a job, not before. So after he is confirmed to get a job, then he will pay me. Okay, that is one. The second thing is, he sent me his CV, which I let him know his CV is crap. Now, because I told him his CV is crap, he actually gave me a nice response back, gave me left, right, and center, saying that, "Who the hell you think you are?" and all that stuff, whatever. Okay, he went on a rant and he bashed me up properly, stating, "Who the hell you think you are?" and this and that. And he said, "Do you know who I am?" Which obviously I don't know who is he. He said, "I can get any job. People are dying to do my CV. I have so many competitors." He went on. Means I didn't respond to him. He was just going on. Just because I told him his CV was crap. He wants, for the position, now remember, I showed you the subject. He wants a position as general manager. The salary that he wanted for the position of general manager is dirhams 1,500. That's roughly $400. $400 for a position of general manager. And his CV, obviously, I'll hide his name. This is his CV. Brief overview. His objective is to build a career in a field. My goal is to build a career in a field. I don't know, rice field, paddy field, which field. I'm a self-motivated and pragmatic individual with a professional approach in dealing with my peers, clients, and looking for a long-term commitment with excellent, prosperous career with greener pastures. It should be green, the pastures. Okay. Key strength. After I read the first one, I didn't want to read anything else, but I'll read it out. His key strengths. The number one. I have 27 years of experience in my field of all-rounder. For a guy who wants to work in Dubai as a general manager, first key strength is 27 years of experience in my field of all-rounder. I don't know which field, rice field, paddy field, which field. Okay, he's an all-rounder. Second one, excellent problem-solving skill. Third one, analytical ability and attention to detail. Fourth one, team player and self-starter and motivated. Okay. Point number 5, result-oriented, result-focused and solution-driven. Point number 6, expertise in management administration. Number 7, proficient in the ambit of financial management. Number 8, confident in strategic planning of management. Number 9, effective in liaising with all. He's liaising with all. Number 10, proactive in self-confidence and decisiveness, dedicated and hardworking. Point number 11, high ability, it's very high, to negotiate and persuade. Point number 12, a highly self-motivated and quick decision maker, believing in the work ethos. Point number 13, positive attitude with a pleasant personality matched with the ability to manage stress, time, and people effectively. Point number 14, performance-oriented. Okay, until now his key strengths. This is the first page of his CV. And then he moves to other skills. So apart from his strength, he has other skills. Team management with strong influencing skills. Interpersonal ability to communicate with peers and public. 3 is organizational prioritization and managing diverse tasks. Point number 4, presentation skills and strong conceptual thinking ability. And 5, languages spoken and written, English, Swahili, Gujarati, and Hindi. So out of the 2 pages, 1 page is only this. Okay. In the second page of his CV, remember, 2-page CV. First page was this. Second page, education. Completed O levels in 1987 in Tanga. Completed A levels in 1991 in Tanga. And possessed a diploma in clearing forwarding in Advanced Commercial Institute from Dar es Salaam. Okay. His name, date of birth, place of birth, caste, his marital status, his citizenship, his postal address, his contact number, and his email. This is his CV. 2 pages. He has not mentioned anything where he works. Nothing. But he wants to apply a job as a general manager. And because I told him his CV is crap, he gave me a piece of his mind. And he told me, do you know how many companies are approaching me because I'm an all-rounder? Who the hell do you think you are? I can go to so many people. So I wished him all the best. So these are the kinds of people I bump into. The next one is, somebody sent me this and said, Loy, trends for UAE is no longer showing up on Twitter in UAE. So they have changed that. So can you see trends in trending topics in UAE? Because Twitter is shut down over there. This was pretty funny. He says, please stop talking to each other inside the lift. So virus can get transferred by talking. Yeah, okay. And somebody sent me this in a shopping mall in UAE. It seems to be pretty empty. I think it's normal even without the virus. Shops are empty. Then I got this. My reader sent me. Khalid Times shares Dubai's Golden Cafe. When you visit this cafe in Jumeirah, it serves you ice cream burger topped with edible gold. So I wonder, when you shit, what happens? Do you poop gold also? I don't know what's with people eating gold or helmets. Then one guy sent me this. He said, Loy, we are planning to sue a couple of companies in India who have taken money and gone away. And he has shown me this. I said, I'm all the best. Okay. I found this photograph pretty funny. Now, when you see this, it's Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed Al Rashid Al Maktoum. He has shared this on LinkedIn. Now, why do I find this funny? Okay. Look closely. Here, you can see all the guys fully covered okay, for radiation or whatever. I don't understand why is it why are they putting all this covering, that also with plastic or whatever, but then the ruler is still open. So it just loses its meaning. It looks like they're just posing for the sake of posing. So what, you're covering your ears for radiation, but your face is open, so nothing comes to your face, your skin is not exposed. And then why the rulers putting this plastic cloth all over them, but leaving their face, the eyes, the nose, mouth all open? I don't know, man. Maybe I'm dumb. Okay, maybe I'm dumb. I don't know. So anyway, sharing all this, these are the final bits of what I had received. This one was some of the videos, so you watch it and give me your thoughts on this one. Was an accident that took place, a pretty bad accident with the whole truck and everything falling in the water. I mean, this is real shit. It's unbelievable. Okay, so this was one. Second one is, this guy is playing with a snake and he seems to be enjoying it. And this is a king cobra. Obviously, they have removed the poison from the king cobra. That's why you can play with it. I seriously wouldn't want to play with such a big, mammoth reptile. And obviously, they've removed the poison. That's why, even though he's getting bitten, he doesn't feel anything. And that's a big ass animal, man. Then this one was they claimed that this was in a mall. This was not actually in a mall. This was in the airport, and they were doing a drill. Said this is not actually a real thing. This next video that was shot was taken from a car. This is actually in Thailand. And you can see these guys, they just try to squeeze through in between the truck, and this guy was opening the door, and they bump, and the truck runs on top of them. Now, so much for being in a hurry. So that's why I tell you, be careful. Next one is, this seems to be the training that people are practicing for Valentine's Day. So you need to keep yourself fit, I guess. Found it funny. This one was the video that was being shared on Twitter of bullying in the girls' academy. This was being shared. So how far it's true? Well, I guess it's true because they did take action. So anyway, I don't want to share it once again. This video was being shared of, this actually was caught at the airport. Dubai-bound passenger, when they open these peanuts, they find money. And this was actually, this person was actually caught. So real stuff. But I have to admire the fact that they spent so much time to ensure that all this currency was nicely folded into all these peanuts. Wonder how much effort went into this. And this was shared to me by somebody who visited one of the exhibitions and said, "Loy, check this out, futuristic car." Well, it's always nice. Dubai always has this futuristic stuff being shown, but I doubt anyone would use this car on the road. This can be more of a toy for rich people. Otherwise, nobody would use it. And last but not the least, this was something that I shared on my social media. The next time you hurt the girl that you loved, dumped you for another guy, just remember how Baywatch stars Yasmin Bleeds was, how she was, and how she is now. So love, age, time, equal reality. So guys, these were some of the updates that I wanted to share with you. This is what was shared with me. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I love to hear from you. And good, bad, ugly, always read your comments. This is me signing off for now. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.